again from Louisville, Kentucky with our newest live stream. I got Sticker Kid here. Sticker granddaughter's not here tonight. What, do you got anything to say? Nope.
It's cold out.
Cold out. If any of you are still up after watching the ghosties today, we're doing a little live stream. I was at work at the grocery store, so I missed the Ghosty Awards. It must have been pretty crazy.
What's a Ghosty Award?
Rachel Ghost Channel, the one that's interviewed me before in Canada, had a big awards show today. It was on at 5 o'clock our time. Went on for a couple hours. They had an after awards party like the Academy Awards had, I guess. So we got Sticker Kid. Sticker Kid's almost 13. Got my oldest son. Gonna talk a little bit about the 60th anniversary of...
So you got Joseph Mentino says, hello, Mr. Stickermania and family. And then Mr. Beatles Pro, it was a little over the top. I guess he's talking to
the Ghosty one. A little over the top. I hope they have a replay so I can watch it or watch the highlights of it. Yes, we're doing the 60th anniversary. This came out on January 10th, 1964, the very first Beatles album in America, Introducing the Beatles. This is the one that has printed in the USA on it and has the ad backs on the back. Pretty darn rare. I've had about 5 of these in my lifetime. And then on January 20th, coming up our 60th anniversary, Meet the Beatles came out. This is a stereo first press from Scranton, number 3, and it doesn't have any publishing credits after the titles. That was a mistake. The very first, I think 20,000 stereo copies were made with no publishing credits. 60th anniversary. Let's celebrate it, us first generation fans, because a lot of us won't be here for the 70th anniversary. What do you think of that?
You don't want to hear that. He's getting sad.
He keeps staring at me. It makes me feel uncomfortable.
Well, you're not like paying attention. Get into it. Give us some entertainment.
So we got the version 1 of Introducing the Beatles, the real deal.
Joseph said you have amazing LP in amazing condition.
Yep, pretty nice. This is the, has stereo at the 12 o'clock position. That's the very first stereo version of Introducing the Beatles with Love Me Do and P.S. I Love You on the labels, on the record. I had a title back version 1. If you watched my last video, we showed highlights of that sold like 6 months ago. Got my mojo back. I was a little bit sick the first week of the year, but that's just natural. It's been happening to us for 50 years. We just forgot all about it. It's called the flu season.
What's that?
The bug, the flu that comes around the beginning of the
When
year.
everybody starts feeling sick, when you start getting sweaty and that nasty feeling.
Yeah.
Nose running.
This is a version 2 of Introducing the Beatles that came out in February of 1964. They weren't factory shrink, so in Sears they put them in this special red baggie to protect it. They sealed it for their own stores only. This is a version 2 that has Please Please Me.
You good?
Yeah. And ask me why on it.
Brad Parnell says, wow, it's 11 o'clock already.
11 o'clock already.
He knows that you're on at 11. That's our time.
All right, Brad Parnell.
See that snow coming down out there, Brad. It's going to be fun. It's cold out there.
So this is a version 2. This is the most counterfeited album ever, and of any album made in America. They made millions and millions of these in the early 70s and sold them at discount stores for $2.99. But these are both the real deal. Version 1 and version 2. I even have a mono version 1 of introducing the Beatles that has Love Me Do and P.S. I Love You on it. But I don't have a cover that goes with it. This came part of that Tennessee estate that me and my son went down to get. Most all that from the state is sold. So that's the 60th anniversary of the first 2 albums that come out in America.
How old are you gonna be when you're 60 years from now, Sticker Kid?
Old.
How old?
Be 72.
Think you remember that stuff at 72 that he's teaching you now?
No.
Why not?
So Meet the Beatles, you can see, has a little a view color added to it, where the With the Beatles from the United Kingdom was just black and white. See how the blue's added to the tint?
Joseph said he has a copy with a black label. Supposedly it's a second copy. I guess he's talking about that.
With the black label?
Yeah.
Yeah. Does he have original, or does he have one of the counterfeits?
I don't know. I have to ask him. Joseph, what do you got? The original.
All right. The black label, yeah, the one that has the brackets is the rarest black label. Has the VJ brackets.
Mr. STICKERMANIA.
Yeah, what you need, Sticker Kid? Got a winner joke for us?
No.
You stopping the show, you gotta have something
He
good.
keeps staring at me.
I'm trying to make sure you're doing good.
You're smiling. These are 2 promo photos that were made from the United Kingdom, 1963. This is the way the Beatles looked on I Want to Hold Your Hand picture sleeve. 2 early shots from 1963. Some early picture sleeves that came out in America. I don't have a I Want to Hold Your Hand right now. These came out in February of '64. A tab cut, West Coast of VJ, Do You Want a Secret, and a straight cut. Show you the difference in those 2. See how the picture sleeve is straight, a cut straight across there. That's the way they made them in the East Coast. In the West Coast, they put that little tab cut right there where you could open it with your thumb. And this came out in March of 1964.
Do you understand what he's saying, Sticker Kid, the difference in them? He just explained it. What was the difference in them? Explain that to him.
Which one's West Coast?
You gotta be paying attention.
Gonna get quizzed.
Can you give me a compass?
Yeah, give you a compass. This came out in March of 1964 when anything with the Beatles was getting played on the radio. They were the version of My Bonnie where they were backing up Tony Sheridan. And this is the album that single came from. It's still in the factory shrink. My Bonnie with Tony Sheridan and guest. See how those match?
Pay attention, boy.
I don't wanna.
You're supposed to. You wanna Sticker Kid, you gotta be right here. You gotta be learning. You have to start giving you quizzes every day.
We're gonna have a little stone segment here next.
Alright, hurry up. Let's put the water down so we can get into his segment. You want me to hear you gulping in the background? Alright. No more.
We got these mini discs of the Rolling Stones from 1992. Came out the Christmas of 1992. They thought this was gonna take over cassettes, but it never did. But these there weren't enough labels that made the factory mini disc, but the Rolling Stones did. We had a Sticky Fingers, Tattoo You. It's Only Rock and Roll, and Emotional Rescue. Some girls has opened it up. I'll show you what it looks like. That's this little mini disc. My youngest son bought a mini disc player, and I didn't understand why, but now these are real collectible. Those are from 1992. They didn't last too long. And this is pretty remarkable here. A ticket to see the Rolling Stones on Halloween night, 1964. This was the day after the weekend that they performed for the Tammy Show, and they followed James Brown in the Tammy Show. It was supposed to be James Brown was supposed to be the final act, but it got changed where the Rolling Stones were the closing act. And if you notice, Mick Jagger picked up some new dance moves from watching James Brown. But this was the first show after that Tammy Show performance. And at Swing Auditorium in San Bernardino, California, October 31st, they performed 10 songs. Started off with Not Fade Away, and the last song was Around and Around. But that ticket is one of the best conditioned tickets from that concert that exists.
Going back to the picture sleeves, Mr. Beatles Pro said I actually have all the Beatles US picture sleeves. So he has all the US.
All right, there you go, Mr. Beatles Pro.
Do you notice anything missing from your table?
Something missing from my table. No, what's missing?
Guess.
Oh,
Look on the table.
look under the
A
table.
little cheat sheet.
Oh, my cheat sheet?
Joseph said nice ticket.
Yeah, that is. I had to trade my 1964 Carnegie Hall program that had Paul McCartney misspelled as John McCartney to get this ticket. But I thought this was, that was rare. This is also rare. Any questions about any of those?
Mr. Sticky.
Yeah.
Can I keep this?
My cheat sheet? Yeah. Yeah, you can. Let me see if I wrote anything else down. Let me see my.
Don't slow down the star. You gotta be on top.
So the Rolling Stones did their at Santa Monica is where they did the performances for the Tammy Show, and then they traveled to San Bernardino the next night, and that's where that ticket's from. And the first show they ever did in America was June 5th of 1964, and they played at the Swing Auditorium, and this was the second time they played at the Swing Auditorium. It was the second leg of the Rolling Stones tour. And then after this show, they performed close to where I lived in Hare Arena, Dayton, Ohio. And I think there was only like 700 people showed up for the show in a great big auditorium. So the Rolling Stones, they were pretty popular out in California, but when they got out in the Midwest and everything, it took a while, especially until they recorded I Can't Get No Satisfaction, and everything changed after that.
Joseph said, wow, that's a story talking about you trading the Paul McCartney and that. And he said another nice rare item.
Yeah. I went from one rare item to the next rare item. This guy said he had this, said it had been put away for 50 years, and I said, I think I want to trade for it. So we did an even deal on eBay. I bought his item, he bought my item.
Why?
Because he wanted it.
Why?
You gotta trade stuff sometimes.
Because I've never seen a Rolling Stones ticket from '64 in that kind of condition. Never. There usually hardly anything left, and this was just well preserved. All right, what are we going on to next? We got these had these several times. Got this from Rockaway Records out in LA. These are the original baggies that the 1966 Beatles inflatable dolls were sent in when you bought Lux bar soap or Nestle's Quick and sent away. I think it was like $1.50 or $2, and you got all 4 of these in a brown paper bag in the mail.
Yeah, we had that opening, that one video, one of your old videos. We
I
had
opened-
it open.
Yeah, I opened the paper bag that it came in. But these have never been taken out of the plastic bags, never been inflated.
Is that Wingo?
Let's see how good you are at picking them out. All right, find Ringo with the big nose.
I mean, he gave you the answer. He said, find
Big
Ringo
nose.
with the big nose. Who's got the biggest nose?
There's Ringo. Okay, where's George Harrison? Come on, make it quick. Make a guess.
And they found him.
No, that's Ringo. This is George. Got 2 left. Paul or John? Which one's John Lennon? Which one's Paul McCartney?
Who's that?
Who?
John.
Huh?
John.
No.
No, you always get that
That's
wrong.
Paul. Like, you can't tell that's his favorite. You should know.
You always get that wrong.
Do you do that on purpose just
I
because
think,
you know?
I think he does on purpose.
No.
Just because you know Paul's his favorite, so you try
I
to
don't
find
pay
it.
attention to the
See, but you're supposed to. You got to. You got to be entertaining.
How?
This is that anthology box set I've showed before, promo. And it has Meet the Beatles on the cover. And it looks like there's a lot of albums stacked up on the side. And when you open it up, it's got the binder and the VHS tape to promote the anthology. They came out, only the, like Blockbuster and record stores would have got these, this promo kit. All right, these look posters behind me, they're gonna sell in,
Remind me, I got a box for that in the car. I got to get out.
no, he's gonna get them outside of the frames.
Oh,
I
he
thought-
doesn't want them in the frames no more?
No, I
Okay.
told him I'm not sending them in the frames, it's too difficult anymore.
Okay.
Just gonna roll them up in a big, one of those big heavy poster tubes I got.
Can I use the bathroom?
Yeah, go ahead. Come back and visit us. So the look posters from '68. He's gonna he gave me a $675 offer, and I'm gonna sell those for in about a week.
So we'll be changing the background again.
Yep. All right, butcher covers. I don't think we got Wolfie Baby Watson tonight. We got a first state. It's was never covered over. We got a second state, West Coast. A number 6 made out in Los Angeles. And we got a 4th state that doesn't have the butcher cover underneath. Made out in Los Angeles. But it's got a record that looks like it's unplayed that I'm sending to Wolfie Baby, because he had an East Coast record come with his West Coast cover, so now he'll have the matching record.
Joseph said incredible. He liked them.
Yeah, this is real incredible here. Only 50 of these in the world that have never been covered over left in this condition. Near mint with a COA from Perry Cox saying it's in near mint condition. And it can be yours for over $19,000.
Joseph said, I love the butcher covers.
So,
Alright, open the door, come on. Don't be doing stuff like that.
Lumpy pants.
Well, don't be banging on doors. He
That's-
said amazing.
pretty amazing, that first date.
Yeah,
You can see that that's an East Coast and this is a West Coast, and you can see how this has a more natural tint, where the East Coast has like a little purple color added to the picture that's not on the West Coast. So Wolfie Baby, your records are going to be on the way next week. Wolfie Baby's probably all wiped out from the Ghosty Awards. Surely the after party's over with by now. This is the Sgt. Pepper 2017, came out in the 2 CD and 2 album set with one album that has all the outtakes. This is a sealed CD from 2017. It was $19.99 in the stores. It was discounted from $27. And this is the album from that year. It has the one album of the regular tracks and the second album of all the outtakes. Never showed that before. Had this sealed several times. Has a booklet that comes with it. Rolling Stones. Forgot this one here. Got another German Magical Mystery Tour. This is a 77 issue on Apple, but uses the same matrix as the 73 Horzu. -1, -3 in the matrix. Somebody had this in factory sealed condition today on eBay, and I made a bid of $300 with 3 seconds to go, and I got outbid. Went for $360. A sealed Magical Mystery Tour German version. I noticed somebody sold this for $99 the other day on eBay. The picture disc paperback Rider and Rain that's got the butcher cover on one side. It's one of the few times that the butcher cover slick's ever been released. This was 1986. What do you think, Sticker Kid? What do you think?
Bad.
You gonna learn to peel one of these? You got the patience to learn to peel a butcher cover this year?
No.
Well, I got to teach you. Well, I can still do it.
Yeah, you gotta take your time. You gotta be able to do that.
When I went through all my Tony Sheridans and the Beatles that came from that Tennessee estate, this was the original called the Beatles First from 1963 in Germany. And how you know you got a first press? It's got If You Love Me Baby listed as the 5th track, and they changed that title to Take Some Insurance Out on Me. But the very first issues had If You Love Me Baby instead of Take Out Some Insurance. And it's got the mistake on the cover, and it's got the mistake on the record also. This is the first press of this Beatles First from Germany. All right, we talked about my Exile last week. My Unipack. It's got both hype stickers on it. Factory sealed from 1972. It's on my up on my eBay store.
Brad Parnell says, have you ever thought of making a how-to video of peeling a butcher cover? It might be fun to watch how you do it.
We've thought about it.
But then
We'd have to take a hour or two rough video and cut it down.
But you gotta have some secrets. You gotta keep some secrets to yourself right
let me
now.
hold that.
All right, so that's the camera if they want to get a hold of me through my Mr. And then you call that
Underscore.
_STICKERMANIA Yahoo. You gotta hold it straight.
I need to read it.
at yahoo.com.
Mr. STICKERMANIA at yahoo.com.
But you gotta have that little underline there in between.
Yeah.
Mr. Beatles Pro figured this out, and Joe Hilton figured this out.
Joseph said, I would love to see a video of that. Great idea.
You
What,
should.
about the butcher cover?
Yeah, maybe down the road we'll think about it.
Might happen in 2024.
You should probably put a text saying that's an underscore.
Underscore?
No, you go to the symbols and it's the underlined thing, but I guess they call it underscore. And
Some other Rolling Stones.
just when I made it, it made me put that in there because it wouldn't let me leave that space.
About the same time as that, as this ticket from 1964. A few months before that, the first Rolling Stones album was issued in North America. English newest hit makers, the Rolling Stones, has to have a textured cover to be the original 64, and it has to have the textured bonus photo that's inside. They made a lot of these years after with a glossy photo, but only the originals had the textured photo in it.
Brad Parnell said you could do a time-lapse video of the cover peeling.
Yeah.
That might be fun, but
Yeah.
we'll think about it down the road.
This is the Christmas of 1965, Rolling Stones, Out of Our Heads. And that's the song that changed everything for the Rolling Stones when this went to #1, Satisfaction. One of the rarest hype stickers to get on any Rolling Stones album is this one for I Can't Get No Satisfaction. Got the sticky fingers with the zipper that's pulled down. It's got the hype sticker on the back. A second pressing of the great album, my favorite Rolling Stones album, Sticky Fingers. Not a bad track on that album. All right. Talked about the mini disc.
Don't think that.
I was going to sell my Beatles for Sale stereo. It's the only stereo I have left besides the ones I get in the BC13, but this is a mid-70s pressing stereo of from the United Kingdom, and I listened to this album more than any other Beatles album I listened to last year. Beatles for Sale. John and Paul are just still at their creative peak. Their harmonies, their covers of old songs, just a great underrated album from the Beatles. Beatles for Sale.
You did hear that, right? Sticker Kitty said the album he listened to the most last year. What was it?
The Beatles.
Beatles for Sale.
The Beatles for Sale. So it's on the quiz.
This
Make
came
sure
out Christmas of 1964.
Sit up, boy.
That's
Be
when
entertained.
that's when the Beatles were issuing 2 albums every year.
Joseph said, I agree. That album is really wonderful.
It just grows on you. You just can't believe how good they are in the studio on Beatles for Sale. You could tell they're ready to explode into different musics, like Revolver and Rubber Soul after Beatles for Sale. And it's recorded well too. The stereo version's recorded real well. You don't have that vocals. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I really like that album. This is the American version of Beatles for Sale called Beatles 6. So this would have come out of the Christmas of 1964. And it's in the shrink. It's a mono. And almost all the albums in the United States were issued in mono. Until the butcher cover, that's when everything changed. When they started Revolver and everything, Sgt. Pepper got to be mostly stereo versions.
Can I leave?
Novus Nick said, good evening.
Novus Nip. All right.
Mr. Sticky.
Did you watch yes, let's hang in here just about 10
Yeah,
minutes.
let him do his thing.
Can I leave the room for a second?
Yes.
But
Novus Nick, were you watching the Ghosty Awards today? Anybody out here watching the Ghosty Awards? I missed it all.
stuck at work all day. Was it busy today at the store?
Not too busy. I saw my Ringo Starr Christmas album last week. I had a Rolling Stones glitter box that had the original shirt in with it from France, 1978. I sold it in one day, and they were real happy with it. But the glitter shirt had never been taken out of the package. I don't think I showed these in a while. 3 factory sealed compact disc of Beatles from the late 1987. Got the rubber sole in the long box. Got Sgt. Pepper with the cutouts on the back. And you got Abbey Road. Came out about 87 or 89. This might have been 1989. Was discounted at $15.99 at Turtles. And we got this
That Led Zeppelin BC thing over that. We were talking about Led Zeppelin.
Led Zeppelin for a second. Somebody had a near mint Monarch pressing of Led Zeppelin 2, the hot mix.
Joseph asked, nice long boxes. How much do those go for nowadays?
Oh, they go for about $60 a piece. They're on all 3 of them are on my eBay store. This is the unused ticket to see Led Zeppelin at the Kingdom 1977. But back to my story on Led Zeppelin 2. I gave a guy a $2,000 offer on a near mint RL MO Monarch pressing, and he's acted like he wasn't interested, and then a couple days ago he said he was interested, but he took it off of eBay and he said it'd be on Discogs today. So probably already sold, but I don't buy on Discogs. But if I get a near mint of RL from Monarch Pressing, which is the best pressing in the world, I'll put it with this real nice cover. And they usually go anywhere from $2,000 to $2,500 if you have a near mint copy of Led Zeppelin 2. It's a Led Zeppelin 4 Zosa with the hype sticker on the front. Has the Porky Pecco Duck first mix on it. It's so much better than any other mix of that Led Zeppelin album. Got my Rolling Stones 3D cover. This is original. Somebody that worked for VeriView that made these things, his dad, they found a bunch of these, and I just bought one for $50 a couple days ago, so I have just the lenticular coming that I sold before. That was my Led Zeppelin. I talked about the ticket, talked about the hot mix. Got any questions before we wrap this up? I have a lot of stuff coming in the next week. So next week will be a barn burner. I got this scrapbook coming from England that has programs from 1963 for the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, Jerry and the Pacemakers, Billy J. Kramer. This person that went to all these shows collected all the programs for all these artists from England, 1963, and I got a hold of it. It'll be coming next week from England. What do you think, Sticker Kid?
I think I have a question.
All right, what's your question?
When you were first in YouTube, were you
Project.
were you confused speaking to the camera?
A little bit, yeah.
But how are you today?
I'm better today. We've been doing this for a little bit over a year.
Why?
To teach his knowledge. People want to know.
I'm a first generation Beatles fan. I'm trying to pass on the knowledge for you and other young generations
Why he's
out
supposed
there.
to pay attention? This is important information he's
One
giving out.
time, one of our biggest groups we had was wasn't the 25 to 34-year-old age group. We had a lot of people watching from that age group. Sticker Kid, you're about ready to wipe out.
Alright, what's this? Are you doing anything else? Or are you calling it?
I think that's about it.
Alright, we'll do an outro.
So check with us next Saturday night. That would be the 20th, January 20th. Now I have a lot of things coming in, and there'll be a lot to talk about. What do you think, Sticker Kid? Is this the week you're gonna learn how to peel a butcher cover? Not this week? Your birthday's in February. All right, so tell them bye. Bye from Louisville, Kentucky. See ya next week. Thanks a lot. We got to check out the Ghosty Awards.